Hey guys, Stephen Bogren here from Pro Physique. Today, what I want to talk about is stop fucking dieting, dude. Yo! What's up, everybody? I might be putting myself out of a job here, but I want to talk about stop dieting. Stop fucking dieting. Quit it. Quit it. Quit cutting your calories. Quit doing shows all the time. Quit always dieting. Quit always having to be in a deficit. It's not good. So, camera's working. So, what do I mean by this? Because, like, Steven, aren't you a coach? Isn't dieting like the thing that you do? Well, yeah, you're right. You're right, dude. It definitely is. Sometimes it be like that. But yeah, and so there's nothing inherently wrong with dieting. Great. You want to do a show? That's great. But I think what a lot of us get into is this consistent dieting over and over. Always dieting. Always long-term being in a deficit, or always trying to be leaner, or never being lean enough, never being good enough. It can end up being really, really just messing up life, dude. And so, like, when we're always dieting, it can just be really detrimental for a lot of reasons. And so, I mean, first and foremost, lifestyle stuff. Like, if I'm dieting, it's really hard for me to go out and enjoy drinks or a meal out or go do a lot of those fun social things with friends and family and the people that I care about. And so, forgetting about all that, for my body, I haven't seen it treat people too well. We want to get out of that yo-yo, always dieting, cyclical dieting lifestyle, right? We want to eventually get to a place where we can maintain weight at a healthy calorie intake, at a very reasonable amount of cardio, and that we can make progress, right? So let's talk about it first and foremost in the idea of the competitor. And this is one I see a lot of, is the competitor likes to do what? Compete. And so it makes sense that we want to compete a lot. And if we want to compete a lot, that means we'd have to diet a lot. And so there's a couple of really big drawbacks with that as a physique competitor and as a bodybuilder. First and foremost is we don't get better as a bodybuilder in a dieting season. It just doesn't happen. We have to be getting calories up. We have to give ourselves the ability to build muscle, to get better, right? To improve our physique. If we're not doing that, we don't get better. We just kind of end up being the same all the time, even if we can bring the same conditioning, right? So we have to take ample time off. And if you're a natural competitor, ample time off is a longer amount of time than an unnatural competitor, right? It takes longer. For myself, I've probably been doing this 7 or 8 years now. I'm probably pretty lucky to get a pound, maybe 2 pounds of muscle per year of not dieting, right? That means I'm just taking time off, I'm building, I'm focusing on getting stronger, I'm focusing on getting bigger, I'm focusing on doing all the right things to have enough food, to grow, to recover, to rest, to recuperate, to stress manage, right? So if I'm doing all those things, I'm still not growing any, like, a significant amount, right? Not as an athlete that's been in the sport for a long time, that's been training for a while. The older you get and the longer you've been training, the lower the number gets, right? It gets even harder to continue to put on muscle. So I have to make sure that I give myself ample time in between show seasons to grow, to get better, to improve. Now, so there's that portion right there, but also there's a portion of, if I'm always dieting, how the fuck do I keep dieting, right? I can't keep dieting when my calories are already low. At some point, I have to address the adaptations, the changes in my body that have occurred from dieting, from doing lots of cardio, from decreasing my calorie intake, from not eating as much food, right? Because at some point, my maintenance becomes whatever I'm maintaining at. If I'm maintaining my weight at 2,100 calories a day and 6 hours of cardio a week, that's my maintenance. That's what I have to do, right? So now I have to slowly go the other way. I have to get my calories back up. That way, when I diet again, I can start from a higher calorie intake and less cardio. Now, that doesn't guarantee that I'm going to get results right off the bat, but it definitely gives me more room to work with, right? And for that off season, for improving, it allows me to have some freedoms. It allows me to eat Oreos and a Pop-Tart and have a delicious porter or stout. Yeah, All those wonderful things, right? Or maybe have a margarita with old Paulie. Old Paulie. He loves the margaritas. So it gives me freedom. It gives me freedom for life, okay? One of the big things I see, and this is one of my big no-goes that as I always encourage people, don't do this, please. Don't diet and diet and diet and then have a show and then a vacation right after. It's a great opportunity for you to put on a lot of weight real quick, right? The longer you diet, the higher the likelihood of rebound. The leaner you get, the higher likelihood of rebound. Typically, when you're on vacation, you don't give a shit about tracking. You're out having fun. We're having drinks, we're eating food, we're going out, we're doing our thing. Like, we don't care. It's not the main thing at that point, especially post-show when we've already been dieting and restricting and doing all those tough things for a while. Like, we're not trying to pay attention to that anymore, right? So what I like and what I recommend, if you're going to do a show, give yourself time to reverse. Reverse into your vacation. Reverse into your wedding. Reverse into the honeymoon stuff, right? That way, your maintenance calorie intake is higher. There's less of a chance that you can go as overboard, less of a chance that you're going to get as much of a body fat regain, just that you have to be in a better place, right? So if you're dieting all the time, you're dieting into this, you're dieting into that, it makes it really easy when you go off to go off. The last thing I want to talk about is stop dieting. Find other things. Like, it can be really hard to stop dieting all the time when physique sports is the only sport we have. This is one of the big reasons why I got into powerlifting. And jiu-jitsu has also been another really great thing for me with this, right? Because it's helped to give me something else to focus on. If all I have to focus on is my physique and bodybuilding, like, that shit can make me real fucking nutty real quick. It can create some really unhealthy associations with my body fat, with my body composition, with how I feel about how I look, my relationships with food. If all I have is bodybuilding, I find a lot of people that get very OCD about it, and they don't ever get a lot of those other aspects of life in. And if they do, they're lucky. A lot of them don't. And I think that that's why a lot of people burn out on the sport too, right? So I would encourage you guys, when you're trying to stop dieting all the time, when you're trying to reverse and enjoy an off season and build and grow and progress, find something else. Find something else that's fun that you enjoy doing. It doesn't have to be another sport. It doesn't have to be powerlifting. It doesn't have to be jiu-jitsu. Those are just things that I've done, right? It could be music. I have something musically. Maybe I start getting into a band again. Maybe, I start playing more often, right? Could be crocheting and knitting. Maybe I'm going to crochet and knit some stuff and sell it on Etsy. Or start doing some other sorts of arts or craft. Something else that's productive that I can do with my time that's going to help me to not be so hyper-focused on this one portion of life that makes me OCD, because it takes a long time to progress anyways, and we need to take time off and do some of these other things. So I think that, for me, if you really want to be successful in your stop dieting endeavors, not dieting all the time, not always going hard on it, taking time off to grow, find something else. Whether it's a sport, whether it's a hobby, find something else that you can invest yourself in that's still going to bring you a lot of fulfillment and joy, and do positive things for your life, but that's going to allow you to have something else to focus on, so we're not so hyper-focused OCD on that bodybuilding and those physique goals, right? We still have them, we're still accountable to them, we still think about them, but they're not ruling our lives even when we're off the stage. So that's it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Happy Thursday. Talk to you all soon.